Have you ever wondered why a cell, the fundamental unit of life, doesn't just dissolve in the watery environment it often finds itself in? Well, the answer to that lies in the structure we're about to explore today. The cell membrane. Think of the cell membrane as the guardian of the cell. It's a thin, flexible barrier that surrounds and encloses the contents of the cell. It's not just a simple wall, but rather a complex structure composed of lipids, proteins, and carbohydrates. The most basic structure of the cell membrane is the lipid bilayer. This forms a kind of molecular sandwich with two layers of lipid molecules facing each other. These lipids have a hydrophilic head, which loves water, and a hydrophobic tail, which repels it. This arrangement forms a barrier that is semi-permeable. Imagine the cell membrane as a bouncer at a club, only allowing certain molecules to enter or leave the cell. It's this selective permeability that helps maintain a controlled environment within the cell. The lipid bilayer is primarily responsible for this function, allowing the passage of lipid-soluble molecules while repelling water-soluble substances. But the cell membrane is more than just a lipid bilayer. Embedded within this lipid landscape are proteins. These proteins are like the tools in a Swiss Army knife, each with a different function to perform. Some act as gateways, allowing specific molecules to pass through the membrane. Others act as messengers, transmitting signals from the outside to the inside of the cell, while yet others provide structural support. Then there are carbohydrates, the third major component of the cell membrane. These are often attached to the proteins or lipids on the outer surface of the cell. They act like identification tags, helping the cell to recognize other cells or molecules. One might wonder why we need such a complex structure just to form a boundary. But this complexity is precisely what allows the cell to interact with its environment in a controlled way. The cell membrane is not just a passive barrier, but an active participant in the life of the cell. To summarize, the cell membrane is a vital structure that serves multiple functions. It provides a barrier between the cell and its environment, regulates the passage of substances in and out of the cell, and aids in communication and recognition processes. The cell membrane, as we've seen, is a marvel of natural engineering. It's a remarkable example of how complexity can arise from simple components, and how this complexity enables the cell to interact with its environment in a controlled and efficient manner. So, the next time you find yourself wondering about the mysteries of life, take a moment to appreciate the humble cell membrane. And with that, we've reached the end of our exploration of the cell membrane. It's been a fascinating journey, and I hope you've learned something new today. Until next time, keep wondering, keep exploring, and keep learning.